What's good, YouTube? Covering Kyle Lowry signing a free agent deal, 3-year, $100 million. My first thought is, that's too much money. Kyle Lowry came up short in a lot of playoff games. He hasn't really played at an all-star level. He's not a superstar player or nothing like that, but he hasn't even really played at an all-star level in the playoffs since he been in Toronto. He did help change Toronto, though. I give him credit on that. When he came to Toronto, they was a bad team. They needed help. He came in and put in instant offense. He was able to shoot the three, make enough, rebound, play tough, guard his position, and it helped them reach where they are now. Kyle Lowry is one of the better players in the league, but he flops in the postseason. I know that the Raptors been to the Eastern Conference Finals once, and I know that they got to the second round this year and lost to Cleveland, which we all knew they weren't better than Cleveland anyway. But this Raptor team, to be given a 30-year-old point guard $100 million, even though it's only 3 years, it's not enough. They barely could beat Cleveland. And if they can't get past Cleveland, what's the point of even signing Kyle Lowry if you can't get past Cleveland? You can still win 45 to 50 games with Corey Joseph on a $6 million deal. And you probably still can win 45 to 50 games with Corey Joseph without Kyle Lowry. But I know Kyle Lowry adds more firepower. I know he takes more pressure off DeMar DeRozan and ball handling duties and gives him an extra scorer and ball handler in the clutch moments. But DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry have really underachieved to me as a backcourt. I know they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but other than that, they lost in the first round a couple times. They lost in the second round this time. I know that Kyle Lowry was injured, but I didn't think they was going to win the series anyway, even if they would have won a couple games. I don't think that this backcourt is good enough. And Kyle Lowry getting older, DeMar DeRozan getting older. They just re-signed Serge Ibaka. I don't know if this roster is good enough to compete for a championship, and if they ever will. They still got to pay Jonas Valanciunas. They still got to pay DeMar Carroll. They still got to pay DeMar DeRozan his huge contract. Now they got to pay another huge contract in Kyle Lowry. It's not good enough. They're playing to be good. They're not playing for a championship to me. They just lost P.J. Tucker. DeMar Carroll, they got him right away, and he's been nothing but a bust since he got in Toronto because he's been injured. And now that he hasn't been injured, he just became a role player to the point where they rather start Norman Powell over DeMar Carroll. The team is just not good enough. They isolation scores in the playoffs. They're stagnant. They get more pressure because the playoffs is keyed in on DeMar and Kyle Lowry, and their role player just isn't good enough. I know they got better with Serge, but Serge basically played better than Valanciunas at this point, and even in the playoffs. So we'll see. I think this team going to be stuck in mediocrity. Only way I can see this team actually getting to the finals or even having a chance at a championship, LeBron will either have to get hurt or have to leave the Eastern Conference or go to a worse team. As long as he got Kyrie and Kevin Love healthy, even if they weren't healthy, I still think the Cavaliers probably could beat them. But as long as they got those three healthy, they're not getting out the East. Even if LeBron get older, they're just going to put more on Kevin Love, and they're going to put more on Kyrie Irving. Kevin Love averaged 20 and 10 in the beginning of the season, was an all-star. The guy still can play. The guy still can post up, and he's a respectable three-point shooter. Kyrie can take pressure off LeBron and Kevin Love, create shots for him and others, and he can take over games in quarters and stretches. They don't have enough to beat Cleveland. And the East actually is getting weaker. All they really got to do is go through Washington, Boston, and Cleveland. If they can't beat Washington or Boston, then they definitely underachieve. But Boston, Washington, and Cleveland, only three teams they got to worry about in the East. Other than that, everybody else you can go through them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went to another Eastern Conference Finals. But then again, Boston is tough and Washington is tough. But we'll see what happens. I don't think this deal is terrible. I think the contract is terrible because he's older and you're paying him $20+ million a year for an older point guard. I don't like that. But other than that, Kyle Lowry is not the guy that's going to take you to the next level and help you win a championship. And like I said, I think you can still win 45 to 50 games with Corey Joseph as your starting point guard with DeMar DeRozan, because you just run the offense through DeRozan, which is virtually unguardable. The pick and roll with Ibaka, the pick and roll with Valanciunas, have the spot up shooters in Carroll, Powell, or even Corey Joseph. And you can also have Ibaka as the roll man or the pick and pop guy. And Valanciunas can hit a mid-range jumper, and he can finish in the paint too. I don't think that they're going to be stuck in mediocrity with Serge, Jonas, DeMar DeRozan, and Kyle Lowry. They're going to be stuck in the middle. So it's either they're going to try to make another move that can get them over the hump, or they're going to always be the third, fourth, or first or second round exit into the Eastern Conference Finals against Cleveland and lose anyway. So they're going to be mediocre. They're going to be one of the top 3 seeds in the East every year, but they're not going to be good enough to win a championship. So that's all I got to say. Check out my website, analysisplayeraround.com. It's in the comment section in the description below. All you got to do is click the link and it's sending you right to the website. Also, check out my Facebook page, analysisplayeraround.com. The link will be in the description in the comment section below. All you got to do is click the link and it sends you to my Facebook page, and like to show support is all I'm asking. Let me know what you guys think about Kyle Lowry signing a 3-year, $100 million deal. And Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis signing out. These are just my thoughts and my analysis.